What's up, guys? It's Coach Matt with our Saturday workout. This is a group or partner workout that will be on a loose 30-minute clock with the goal of 3 to 4 rounds through, depending on how much you brought to the gym today. So let's begin with the warm-up. 2 rounds through. We're going to start with 10 shuttle runs, so just light jogging back and forth, 10 reps. Then we're going to get a little bit of balance and foot, ankle, knee stability work in with this diagonal skater bound and stick. So the stick is very important, that we're not just landing and walking away or jumping between positions. I want you to fully stop and stabilize at every rep of this movement. So we'll start on one leg. The skater position is I sweep the back leg across and my arms match that, right? So just like a speed skater going back and forth, that's our motion, right? So I'm starting on this outside leg, I'm gonna jump, stick the landing, and maybe I wiggle around a little bit, but I'm stabilizing in that opposite side skater position, and then jumping and stabilizing in that opposite side skater position. Do whatever you gotta do, adjust the position as necessary. If you absolutely have to, put the other leg down, but try really hard to jump far and stabilize yourself before you go to the next one, right? So specifically what we don't wanna see on this one is just pop, 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 right? Or I don't wanna see a massive jump and then kind of wandering away, right? I want you to physically stop yourself, make yourself stabilize on that one leg. So if you have to take a little bit off the jump in order to make yourself stable, that is very normal, that you lose control at 100%. You'll be in the best blend of power and control when you're at like 80 to 90% of whatever your maximum is, okay? All right, that's the second move. Then we'll go other direction of just like fast feet, high knees. Try to move your feet really quick, get your knee above your hip when you do that. Then we'll move to some practice work. You can get out one of your kettlebells, or you can start off a little bit lighter, but some pause kettlebell cleans, right? And the pause is injected in here to help us to work on the correct front rack position of the clean and actually catching it in the power position. So a lot of times when the weight is light on a kettlebell, we tend to just like rip it off the floor, single hip extension, flip it over our arm. Who cares? It's not that heavy. I can smash my elbow with it, right? I want you to work on the skill of the clean. So the thumb of the leg of the hand that's holding the kettlebell is pointed between my legs, and as I extend up, I'm rotating that arm outward, right? So up and catch and pause right there. And then whatever position you're in, I want you to raise your shoulder up, right? So make sure there's tension on the shoulder. We're having the knuckles underneath the chin, elbow pointed forward and down, and then stand and reset, okay? So pause, fix the shoulder, then stand and reset. Get 5 reps of that on each side. And you can go heavier on subsequent rounds. The final one is just a little bit of quad and knee work. So I have this band just half and half around the rig, and you're gonna step into either end of it with the band going right behind your knees. And I want the band to be at knee height. And then you're just gonna step back until you got a good tension on the band and sit down into a squat position. Try to get vertical shins and vertical torso in that position and holding for 30 seconds. Your quad should be nice and toasty. By the time you finish that, walk back in and let the band drop. Okay, that's our Spanish squat. Get through 2 rounds of that, and then we can start into practicing the workout movements. And the intention for this is with either partners or a small group, so that you are doing a work rest ratio of like 1 to 1 or 1 to 2. And the goal is to get the entire complex done without stopping, as heavy as possible. So round 2 could be heavier than round 1, round 3 could be heavier than round 1 and 2, etc. as you go forward, right? So you're gonna start off with 4 double dumbbell or kettlebell clusters. So whether you're doing a dumbbell or kettlebell, not really a big deal. The kettlebell is going to be more challenging just from a technical standpoint, but a cluster is a squat clean thruster, right? And we're gonna do 4 reps without stopping. Once you pick the kettlebells up, they shouldn't touch the ground again. So anytime we do a clean with the kettlebell, we usually will go from the hang position, but squat clean thruster. So both kettlebells catching at the shouldered position and then up and pressing overhead and then back down. So 2, 3, 4. And when I'm done with that, I'm doing a 160-foot front rack carry, right? So I want those knuckles together. You can touch the kettlebell handles together if you want to. Where I don't want you to be is out here like this with the kettlebell handles pointed to the sky and the kettlebells rested up on top of my shoulders. This is kind of an easy resting position. This is a cheap way out of the front rack. I want you to have to actually hold it in the front rack position with the kettlebells in the crook of your arm. We're just walking 160 feet, which is down and back 2 times, right? Each length of the rig is about 40 feet, so 80 feet down and back, 160 feet is 2 times down and back. Then, ideally without stopping, we're going right into the squat clean reps, kettlebell squat clean. So now I don't have to press it up overhead, but I still gotta do my double kettlebell squat clean. And we're gonna do alternating arm front rack and farmer carry, switching halfway after I finish those 8. So one arm is farmer carrying, the other arm is front rack carrying, and I'm walking down and back, left up, right down, and then I'll switch. So right up, left down for the next down and back, okay? And then ideally, again, without stopping, now I'm doing deadlifts. So now I'll do the sumo deadlift with the kettlebells. If you want to do a conventional deadlift with them outside, that's also fine. Doesn't really matter, but this one I do want you to touch the ground with the kettlebells, 12 reps of that, and then finish with down and back 2 times farmer's carry. And finally, at the very end, I set them down, okay? So the goal is that whole sequence as heavy as possible without letting go of the kettlebells or setting them down. Just be careful with your grip as you go through that workout. And if your grip starts to fail, then that may be the limiting factor for this workout. But do try not to like run and drop the kettlebells and let them like bounce and roll or anything. Just set them down before you finish. All right, there's an optional finisher, a cash out at the end that you can do, and it is accumulate the following, meaning break them up however you need to. We want to see 100 calories for the guys, 80 calories for the ladies on the bike. Hard pace, but again, it's not, I don't want you to have to do all 100 without stopping unless you're just that kind of freak, okay? So accumulate 100 calories total at a very challenging pace, and then 80 alternating leg med balls to toes or V sit-ups. So alternating leg V sit-up, right? So 1, 2, 3. So every time you sit up, it's a count. So it'll be half on each leg. 60 reps of a ring row. And you can, again, make these as hard or as easy as you need to, right? By moving your feet. And then the last one is plyometric push-ups. So some version of an explosive push-up. If you can push and clap, great. If you can push and just have your hands leave the ground a little bit, that's okay too. And if you need a little assistance from a band across the rig, that is great. Do not do the plyometric push-ups on any elevated surface, all right? If you're gonna do an elevated surface push-up, just do a hard push away from it, but don't let your hands leave, especially not on the Matadors or the adjustable pull-up bars, okay? All right, that's it for today, it for the week. I'll see you guys next Monday for deadlift max outs.